Hello everyone, welcome once again to my channel. My name is Portelles, and for today's video, I'm going to be presenting to you guys my early picks for Miss Grand International 2022. Of course, this video is being recorded prior to the arrival of the candidates to Thailand, so this is mostly based on information that I have seen around the internet, on their social profiles, and even for some of them, their national pageants as well. If I'm being honest, for some reason I thought that Miss Grand International was going to take place somewhere in November or even December, but after I started seeing everyone posting their early picks, I told myself, wait a minute, let me double check. And I realized that just in a few days, the candidates will be arriving to Indonesia. And so I had to put myself to work right away, and I came up with this list of 15 candidates that I will be presenting to you guys today. Now, the only thing that I'm going to ask from you is that if you enjoyed this video, if you find some sort of value in it, don't forget to hit the like button so that it gets recommended to more people. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one almost every single day. And of course, let me know in the comment section what you think about my comments, my feedback, the candidates, and anything else that you would like to express as well. I won't keep you waiting much longer. I will see you with my list right after the intro.
Be strong.
So officially, let's get right into it. At number 15, we have the candidate representing South Africa. I think that she is a beautiful, beautiful woman, and I really appreciate her facial and physical attributes, while at the same time recognizing the fact that she is representing one of the powerhouses in pageantry. However, South Africa has not managed just yet to win a crown at Miss Grand International, so this is still on their bucket list. I definitely see a lot of potential when I look at her social media, when I watch some of her videos and listen to her communication skills. However, I still think that she needs some more polishing. I need a little bit more of effort when it comes to the styling, when it comes to the attention to details, everything from the makeup, the wardrobe, the accessories. You know, when you go to Miss Grand International, they are literally looking at you all of the time. You are constantly being judged. So my hope is that in the upcoming days that South Africa will have to continue preparing before she goes to Indonesia, that she will think of those little nuances that at the end of the day might have a huge impact when it comes to her placement. At number 14, we have the candidate representing Dominican Republic, another one of the countries that, in my opinion, is a growing powerhouse in pageantry. I mean, in Latin America overall, we really appreciate our girls, and I think that Dominican Republic is no exception, especially considering how well they have been doing lately in pageantry. Talking about the candidate for Dominican Republic precisely, I think that she is in really good hands because I know the owner of the franchise for Miss Grand Dominican Republic. He is the same guy who manages the franchise for Miss Earth Puerto Rico, and I know that they put a lot of effort into the preparation, the looks, the communication, just making sure that the candidate is overall prepared and not just focusing on like specific aspects. So I have no doubt in my mind that if Miss Dominican Republic is in the right mindset and if all of the stars align, she might be able to obtain a placement during this year's edition of Miss Grand International. And who knows, even if she performs really well, why not bring back the crown to Dominican Republic? At number 13 on the list, we have the candidate representing Nigeria. What a beautiful woman. I was actually going through her Instagram account and I couldn't help but notice that honestly this woman looks like a Barbie doll. Everything from her physique, the facial features, the looks, I'm constantly being reminded of a doll, and we know that this is something that Nawad really appreciates. Personally, when I think of Miss Grand International, I think mostly of a pageant that really appreciates women who would tend to do very well in show business, and I think that Miss Nigeria definitely has that it factor. I also really appreciated the variety when it comes to her social media posts. I think that we get to see a little bit of everything, her social work, we get to see some of the photo shoots, we get to see some of the behind the scenes as well, and that for me is what really gives me an idea of what the girl is up to and how she is preparing. So I do have very high hopes for Miss Nigeria. Now let's keep it moving. At number 12, we have Miss Ecuador, another Latina here on my topics, and I feel like honestly this year the crown might be going back to Latin America, but more on that later during this video. Miss Ecuador really seems to be very well surrounded when it comes to her teams, when it comes to her training, when it comes to the content that she is putting out there as well. And I believe this is something that Nawad precisely really appreciates. One of the things that I really appreciate about this girl, other than the obvious gorgeousness that she does possess, is that when I look at her photos, she can give me anything from the typical beauty queen to really like a sexy, glamazon, really empowered woman, like show business type of woman. And remember earlier, that was what I was telling you, that in my opinion, usually Miss Grand International will look for a showstopper. I did watch some of the clips of her national competition and she seemed to be an overall great candidate. So I think that with the right support, she might be able to make it far this year at Miss Grand International. Moving on to number 11, we have Colombia. I think that for many people, we just assumed that Colombian girls are going to excel in pageantry because of how much they really appreciate their beauty queens, how much they train, how much they make sure that the girls are ready from A to Z. And I think that this year's candidate for Miss Grand Colombia is no exception. Now, the first thing that I'm going to say is that her facial features reminded me a little bit of Valeria Ayos, which is a great compliment in my opinion. We love Valeria around this channel. And I also think that based mainly on social media, she does have the looks of a winner. You know, when you look at a woman and you feel like, oh, she has the it factor, she has something special, she has that little spark. That's what I've been getting from Miss Colombia. At the same time, just being fully transparent, I haven't had as much time to look deeper into more content from her, like videos or pasarela videos. However, the first impressions have been really great. We'll see how that evolves for my second leaderboard, third leaderboard, and so on and on and on. Now, we are finally getting into my top 10 picks. And at number 10, we have Peru. I think there is something so appealing about Miss Grand Peru. I don't know if it's her charm, her physical and facial beauty, the richness of her skin. There is something just that I love about this woman. Another thing that I can say about her is that she comes from an organization, a national organization that provides a lot of support for the candidates. I feel like Peru this year have been doing an amazing job, especially when I think of Miss Universe. And I think that they're putting a very similar amount of effort and resources on their Miss Grand Queen as well. And this is something that I noticed as soon as I went on her social media. She has been posting photo shoots inspired by Indonesian fashion, culture, and it really seems like she has been embracing the country. Now, one thing about Miss Grand International is that in order to win, based on what I've seen so far, I think that yes, you have to be a great performer and all of that, have like the it factor as we said, but you also need to please Nawat. And one of the things that he really does like, first of all, when you embrace Thai culture, because you know he's from Thailand and he really likes it when the girls speak Thai, but at the same time he also likes when the girls go above and beyond to showcase the culture and the richness of the country that they are visiting or where the event is being held. In this case, it's gonna be Indonesia. So I think that she got the memo and she has been working really hard at it. And I have to give it props for that. I appreciate it. Moving on to number 9, we have Australia. I have seen a lot of buzz around Australia when it comes to Miss Grand International this year. I feel like a lot of people really like her. And after looking at her social media, I really understand the hype around her. The first thing is that in terms of the look, I think that she doesn't necessarily look like any other candidate in the competition so far. When most of the girls are giving me sexy vibes or showgirl vibes, she is giving me more of like editorial beauty. I don't know if you guys can see it, but particularly this photo that I chose right here, I think that it's a good example of that. This could easily be a magazine cover. This could easily be a photo for a designer. So I think that she has a different type of beauty compared to most of the girls that are competing this year at Miss Grand International. She seems to have a very soft, delicate personality, which I think is going to connect well with Asian audiences. And at the same time, I think that she will bring a different archetype when it comes to the winners, to the roast of winners of Miss Grand International. I haven't checked her age just yet. I'm sure that she is very young, but she is giving more of a mature look, more of a queen for a purpose, you know, like this type of like queens with a heavy advocacy and very involved in their community. That's the vibe that I'm getting at least. It's time for Miss Grand International to finally put some focus when it comes to advocacy and working a little bit more with communities. So who knows, maybe Australia is the girl for the job. I think that at the end of the day, everything is going to depend on how she performs and what she delivers on stage, but I can definitely see the potential right here. Moving on to number 8, we have Guatemala. A lot of my fellow mixologists and pageant enthusiasts have been calling this girl the full package. And after looking at her content myself, I can definitely understand why. The girl not only is excellent when it comes to her pasarela, she is also very good with the communication skills. It seems like she has a clear advocacy. And I mean, in the beauty department, she is definitely not lacking anything. So I think that Guatemala is one of the queens from the batch of Latinas that we really need to keep an eye on. It's time for Guatemala to get more recognition when it comes to the international pageant scene. They have been training recently. amazing, amazing candidates, beautiful queens, very well prepared. I'm thinking of Ivana, who is going to Miss Universe this year. And I think that Miss Grand Guatemala is also going to be a pleasant surprise for international audiences. Just hoping that everything with the training and, the preparation is going well, that everything is on time. Because when you think of the pageant, it's just about to start in just a few days. And it's important that the candidates are 100% ready. But in terms of what the girl should be delivering, what she should bring to the table, I think that she has every single element. Nothing to criticize. Moving on to number 7, we have Philippines. Roberta from the Philippines is one of the most talked about candidates on this year's edition of Miss Grand International for obvious reasons. The first one being that the Philippines is a powerhouse in pageantry. I don't think that there are many international pageants that the Philippines hasn't conquered just yet, or that they have excelled at least. However, the second reason is that the Philippines has kind of a certain tension when it comes to Miss Grand International. We often talk about the girls not being ranked properly, or perhaps given the position that they do deserve within the pageant. But of course, that's an open debate. Let's focus on Roberta. Honestly, just based on her entire performance at Binibini Filipinas, I have no doubt in my mind that Roberta has what it takes to go ahead and conquer this entire pageant. Roberta has proven to be a very adaptable queen. I can think of the photo shoots that she released on her Instagram page, like on her social media, where she was adapting to each one of the different pageants that Binibini Filipinas was offering during her competition. And for me, that proves that she is kind of a pageant chameleon. She can adapt easily. And that is very important for a pageant such as Miss Grand International, where there is so much going on in terms of production, in terms of visuals, in terms of photo shoots and videos. It's a hectic schedule. I think that compared to a lot of the girls in my list, and even to some of the girls that are ranked higher on my list, Roberta brings this sense of youthfulness. She comes across as being very fresh, although if you look a little bit at her history, you will see that she has some pageant experience. She has held some international titles as well. So I think that a lot of people might overlook Roberta. At the end of the day, I think that she has the potential to go beyond the top 7. I think that she can easily crack the top 5, and why not even win the crown. However, I don't know if Nawad will allow that, even if she's deserving of it, because this year will be officially the last one that Miss Grand will be part of the rosters of crowns of Binibini Pilipinas. So I think that Nawad would actually wait until he has his own independent pageant in the Philippines so that he can crown a Filipina. That's just my opinion, but of course, I wish the absolute best for Roberta. Moving on to number 6, we have Thailand. I think that the candidate that is representing Thailand this year is everything. Beautiful, sexy, delicate. She looks extremely regal, elegant, you name it, okay? And I also think that there's, a very strong message here, because it's officially the 10th anniversary of Miss Grand International, and so far the title has never gone back to Thailand. So I think that that will be a great way for Nawad to commemorate the 10th anniversary of the pageant, but also to bring the crown back home, and of course to accentuate the presence and the relevance of the pageant at his own home country. She is also the most followed queen in the entire batch of girls, with 1.6 million followers on social media. We know that Nawad loves social media and interactions, so to me that's already an indicator that she will do very well within the competition. And honestly, the only reason why I don't think that Nawad will necessarily crown her, it's because as of right now, Miss Grand International is pretty known and recognized within Asia. So I think that if anything, he's trying to expand to other markets, perhaps Latin America a little bit more, Europe definitely, Africa, rather than bringing back the crown to Asia, where the pageant is already well known. Now, officially getting into the top 5, we have Indonesia. I just have to say, I must admit that Indonesia is one of my favorites of this entire batch, just in terms of the aesthetics of this woman. She is so beautiful. It doesn't matter from which angle you're looking at her, there is just no flaw to be detected. And also, we know that Indonesia has been putting a lot of work when it comes to the queens that they send internationally in order to bring back more crowns, to be more recognized internationally as well. And I think that she is one of the girls who might be able to precisely bring another crown back home. Also, the fact that the pageant is being held in Indonesia might be playing in her favor. I'm not saying that there will be some sort of bias. However, it wouldn't be the first time that Nawad crowns a girl at her home country. It happened previously with Venezuela, and I think that if the stars align, he might do the same thing with Indonesia. And you know what? I wouldn't be mad about it. Like, the girl is gorgeous, and she definitely has the potential to be an excellent title holder for Miss Grand International. At number 4 on the list, we have Czech Republic. A beautiful, beautiful, beautiful woman. And honestly, she reminds me a little bit of the current Miss World title holder in terms of the aesthetics. So I think that there is a little strategy here when it comes to me putting Czech Republic at number 4, but I'll tell you more about it later. Do me a favor, go look up this woman on social media, go through her page, and you will see the amazing potential that she can deliver. The photo shoots are so professional. This woman knows her craft. I don't know if she has like some experience when it comes to modeling or being in front of the camera, perhaps on TV or some sort of entertainment experience. Now, one of the reasons why I was telling you that this is kind of a strategic placement, I think that Miss Grand International, one of the regions that they have not conquered as much, there's 2 of them mainly. There's Europe, where I don't feel like they are as known or as visible just yet, and there is also North America, especially considering the situation in Europe, everything that is happening, and similar to what Miss World is doing at the moment, you know, working closely with a country that is very close to Ukraine. And I think that bringing the crown back to Europe, it will be a great way for the organization to follow their advocacy, which is to stop the war. And I can think of a better way to stop the war than collaborating with countries that are actually helping the victims of the war. So it just goes hand in hand. At number 3 on my list, we have Brazil. She is perhaps one of the most hyped candidates so far for Miss Grand International 2022. And I can definitely see how she stands out compared to a lot of the candidates in this batch. First of all, there is this mysterious aura around her, and that is just like an overall vibe that I'm getting from her. If you look at this picture, for example, just look at the way that she's looking at the camera. It's not the stereotypical beauty queen. She is not going for the obvious pose or the obvious look. I do think that she has what it takes to elevate the name of Miss Grand International. She seems to be a very marketable queen, so I can see her working with a lot of sponsors, fashion shows, magazines, and just bringing those type of deals for the organization, which at the end of the day is, you know, one of the goals of the organization, to make profit when it comes to the entire events and the title holders. And I'm pretty sure that we can all remember last year the performance of the Miss Grand Brazil that made it into the top 5 last year. I think that it's finally time for Brazil to just get that recognition. They have been sending so many amazing candidates internationally. And once again, not just to talk about Miss Grand, but also this year, the candidate Mia for Miss Universe is doing amazing. So I think that there is just this hunger in Brazil to finally bring back one of these crowns, to really get the recognition that they deserve, because we know that women from Brazil are just so beautiful, so charismatic, just incredible in every single aspect. So for me, it's finally time. So why not? And they are in Latin America. So if no one wants to, you know, tailor to Latinos, it's a win-win situation, okay? Obrigado. All right, so now let's talk about my top 2 officially, and my second position goes to Venezuela. Of course, we all remember Louisette from when she competed last year at Miss Universe. I think that it was one of the biggest upsets for me, the fact that she wasn't able to go further within the competition at Miss Universe. And now that she had this second opportunity to go and represent Venezuela at Miss Grand International, I think that she is truly giving her everything. I can see that there is a lot of things that have been changed, a lot of things that have been adapted for this competition. I do appreciate the softer look in terms of the makeup. I do appreciate the more voluminous glam in terms of the hairstyle. And I also think that she has calmed down a little bit when it comes to the technical executions of being a beauty queen. One of my concerns as she was competing at Miss Universe was that everything seemed very structured. Like you couldn't really feel like she was enjoying the moment on stage because she was just so focused on hitting every single step, every single point. Now, I'm not getting that vibe from her anymore. So I just hope that people can see her for her natural beauty, for what she can deliver. Her communication is incredible. And I'm sure that if she's able to enjoy the moment, she has a huge chance of bringing back the crown to Venezuela. My only concern here is that Nawad has a funny history with Miss Universe, you know, and he sometimes doesn't, I don't know, it's just a weird vibe. And before she was appointed, Louisette publicly said that she had no plans to compete at Miss Grand International. She was not gonna be part of the national competition to obtain the title of Miss Grand. So in a way, this is something that just came to her, but she did express that she was not interested in the beginning. So I don't know if Nawad heard those comments or whatever, if that might, you know, bother him or anything, but I think that the potential is there. And regardless of what Nawad thinks or likes or dislikes, she has what it takes to be a winner. Last but not least, my number 1 pick for this early list of Miss Grand International contestants goes to Puerto Rico. Oksana has to be the most talked about candidate at this year's edition of Miss Grand International, and I think that it's been this way for a while. Ever since she competed last year at Miss Universe Puerto Rico representing Dorado, I think that a lot of my friends, a lot of my Boricua friends were very disappointed when she failed to obtain that national title, and immediately the conversation started around, she should go to Grand, she should go to Miss Grand International. They will know how to appreciate her. And I believe so as well. I think that Oksana has a very interesting type of beauty. She is not the soft beauty, the very delicate. She has more of an impactful look. Like when you see this woman, it kind of inspires respect. You want to watch her perform on stage, and she brings that, entertainment factor that we were talking about since the beginning of this video, that X factor in a way, and also the fact that she is a blend of different cultures. I mean, she was born in Russia, but then she moved to Puerto Rico, so she has that Russian look, while at the same time having the Boricua personality, the charisma, being so warm, so open. And if you ask me, that is the essence of being an international queen, hence Miss Grand International. I have also been watching some of her interviews and the content that is out there about her and from her as well, and I think that communication is definitely one of her strengths. With the right strategy, she could easily elevate the name of Miss Grand International, and of course she will also help expand the reach and the relevance of Miss Grand International in Latin America. I have been hearing a lot of talks about Miss Grand International trying to sell the streaming rights in Latin America to Telemundo. So, if they're really trying to go for that market, my guess is that they are going to crown a Latina this year. And in my opinion, out of all the Latinas in this batch, Oksana, Puerto Rico, is the one who is ready as of right now for this particular title. Let me know, you guys, what do you think in the comment section down below? Do you agree with my comments, my feedback, my ranking? Would you change anything? Would you add someone? Would you remove someone? The shade? Well, just let me know in the comment section down below. While you're at it, leave a like on this video so that it gets recommended to more people, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this one almost every single day. Last but not least, come here and give me a hug. That's a little tradition on the channel. You know that I love you, that I appreciate you. Thank you for coming and spending a few moments out of your day and staying here with me until the end. And until I see you next time, please stay safe, be kind to one another, sending you all my love, all my kisses, and I'll see you on the next one.